buddy Simon. I met him back in 2020, and I wanted to tell you the story of how I met him, who he is, and this tincture that took 3 years to make. Simon first showed up when he joined my Patreon, my private membership community, and he paid for a one-on-one Zoom meeting with me, which is incredibly kind. And he was just a really nice guy, and he kept coming to the meetings and to our one-on-one Zoom meetings for quite a while. And we just had amazing conversations about Amanita. And then finally he broached the subject and said, look, I hope that you feel comfortable enough for me to say this, but I just feel like I've known you before, and I know you have a lot of people tell you this, but I think that you and I are supposed to do something significant with Amanita. And yes, I get emails and get told that pretty frequently. So I kind of had to go think about it. And so I took some Amanita and I gave it to the mushrooms, and I tripped. And in my trip, I saw us in a past life. And we were carrying baskets through a forest, and we were racing to an Amanita to grab it. And he got to it first, and he let me have it. And we were laughing about it and just having fun being children. And what I knew in that trip, in that experience, was that we were paid by the local people in town to grab those mushrooms, to harvest them and bring them to them. And I knew then that I did remember him, and I knew that I felt a really strong connection to him and felt really grateful about that. And he invited me to come up to Canada and to see his lab and to introduce me to some of the bigger names in mushrooms and foraging and stuff. And so when I got there, I saw his lab and the things that he had set up. And he was wanting to make an Amanita tincture. And that began the beginning of us working on a tincture together. And I would go on to meet really cool people, make a lot of friends in Calgary. And it's just really beautiful to have a connection like that to somebody that just feels like your brother from another mother, and that goes back into other lifetimes, I think. And so today we've worked really hard to make this tincture that didn't coagulate, or like the sugars in the lemon would cause issues in it and gumming up the filters and everything. Citric acid being really sour, and then how to get that flavor out of the tinctures. Finally, 3 years later, I think we've got it. This is the Relief Luxe. I call Relief because it is the partial conversion, so it's like the tea recipe, and it's in a bottle that's easier to deal with if you don't feel comfortable making the tea recipe. And this time it's in glycerin. My others are in alcohols. But this is something that we have both worked very hard on. I hope that you enjoy it and that it serves you. And I hope you enjoy what the mushrooms have made Simon and I do, because he has loved Amanita his whole life, and we bring lifetimes to it. And we hope that it serves you well. It comes from our heart. It comes from love. I love you, beautiful people.